call this finance and legislation meeting to order. Mr. Beagley?
Here.
Ms. Skolman?
Here.
Okay, we have one piece of legislation. Before we get to that, anybody have anything they wanna talk about in this
Yeah, I do.
meeting? Sure.
I have a piece of legislation that I'm gonna bring next week, but I just wanted to talk to you guys about it. So we've had issues with the dump truck at the city for the street department, so we're looking, me and Chrissy have been working together a little bit, and we're looking to get a new F600 truck. So I'm working on just different financing options, but that's something that I wanna bring and try to get pushed
Which
through.
truck are you guys having problems with?
So one of our work stores we had issues with, that kinda finally got resolved, but we're still on and off with that, but our TerraStar's like pretty shot. So we keep, every year we put probably $5,000 to $10,000 into it almost.
Those were really bad
And
years for those
they only
trucks.
made that model one time, discontinued it, so we're looking to do that, and then down the road, my plan is sometime in the spring, I'd like to get all the departments together, speak with you guys, and try to do an auction
Nice that
with
you're
some
moving
equipment.
out of internationals though too.
Yeah.
I know the TerraStars and the Durastars both have a ton of problems.
I thought you guys were gonna fix the internationals down by the river.
That one,
Got fuel issues don't run right.
yeah, it was like a fuel injector, yeah, that was just, I know like 2 years ago, we decided not to, cause it was just too expensive, and it was a 99, I believe,
Oh, okay,
So-
I didn't know it was that old.
So that'll be on the auction block as well?
yeah, I'm gonna try to get a bunch of equipment if we can, it's just sitting, so we're not just sitting on equipment for years.
Got fire
Oh,
truck,
yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to Mike
Ambulance?
about that. We have a couple, he has a couple pieces, a couple police. So I'd like to gather all that and I'll bring it to you guys, show you everything.
Get rid
we
of it
have.
before it gets too bad that you're not getting nothing out of it too, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
But we're just running a little light right now to where it'd be nice if we could order this truck sooner rather than later and
Sure.
get those guys, try to get something outfitted for them soon. But
Sounds
once
good.
I get
And
it,
you gonna bring that out in Caucus next week?
yeah, I'd like to get it, if we can, I'd like to get it finished next week if we can.
Okay,
But I'll bring all the info for you.
so we'll have to arrange next week in Caucus and bring this out.
If that's all right with you guys.
Mm-hmm. Anything else?
you guys got this notice about this meeting on the 12th.
Yes.
Some of you've seen it on the news, they're having a meeting to discuss the new Poland and the new Struthers library, and the mayor asked to try to get as many of the council meetings to go to this as possible. She doesn't know if we'll have opportunity to talk at this meeting or not, but in case we do, and just our presence there to show a concern about Struthers and a new Struthers library.
Sure.
You know, and if we do get a chance to talk, you know, she doesn't know, but if we do. So if you can make it, try to put it on your schedule. Okay.
In Mahoning Avenue.
Yeah, the library on Mahoning Avenue. So if we can try to make it, try to save that date and make an honest effort, try to go to it, okay?
Yep.
All right?
We were just going around asking if anybody had anything to contribute to the meeting here. We
Did you
didn't
go
go,
over your stuff?
Yeah.
I do actually, if that's okay. That was quick then. Did you go, you went over the library?
We just got
I
done
talked
talking
to her.
about
just
it.
the meeting, nothing, just about the meeting being next
Oh,
week.
you wanna talk about that?
He, no,
Or just
he
in
just
general?
did. He didn't talk anything
Okay.
about, we'll save that for you,
What, that?
the library.
Okay, so I got a call yesterday, I talked to Amy and she wanted to let me know what they were gonna talk about, basically at the revealing of their year and a half long study. I know she was here at council and we had some concerns, about all the issues that were happening with Poland and we didn't wanna get pushed to the side again. And from what it looks like, we are top priority. The building board voted to recommend moving forward on a new location, a new build for Struthers. That will be their top priority. So I talked to her, obviously I'm gonna be there, but we would like to, as many of you that can come and be there at that meeting, just to show basically support for everything that Amy's been helping with us with. This is something that is gonna be very big for our city. This is huge, that we're hopefully, now this is just a recommendation, so it's not anything that's set in stone. We just, if the board approves it, then
Great.
That's what we need, that's what we've been working for. So it's nothing permanent, it's nothing definite right now, but fingers crossed, it looks really promising.
You know, we've been complaining for years about
We've been
the
working
current
with Amy.
library,
I will tell you, Chrissy has been on my case and
Yeah.
Amy's case for probably the last 5 years. Since right after I came into office, this has been something we've been working for. So we've been very patient over the last 5 years. There's been a lot of things going on with the library. We're just glad that we're not getting kicked to the curb for longer.
Sounds
So
great.
it's very, very exciting, but any of you that can make it, please come and I don't think we're allowed to speak or anything, but just us being there to show support of our library system, of Amy, of all the work and all the time and effort. I feel like we're finally,
Absolutely.
we're there, we just need it to go through, so.
That sounds perfect.
Any questions?
Very good.
Mayor, I have one question. When KO was here, they mentioned something about looking for grants for a urgent care for Struthers. I think that's a good idea.
So we've had one meeting, we met with Gerard, this is just in the discussion phase, so it's nothing, we actually said at the meeting, our first step was to bring them to council to go over everything and kind of come up with a plan. I think what Kristen's doing right now is trying to see if it's something that we should even explore, to see if it's something that we can go after, legally.
I think all cities should have an urgent care in
Oh, yeah.
their community.
If you would hear the presentation, you can ask me, the first thing I said was we need to get them in front of council,
Yeah.
because the presentation that they gave, and it's something we were looking at with Gerard, that maybe we can partner with Gerard, they're similar to us in every single way, and they're all for it. But it's just in the early, it's not anything that is definite, we have to figure out if we can do it and how we can do it before we if that makes sense.
Sure.
But it's still in the early phases, but it's a discussion we had,
Yeah, and it
not
was something
too
we
long
wanted to
ago.
bring here and talk to you guys about, so.
I mean, I don't see any negatives with it, I really don't.
We didn't either, but the negative is the funding sustainability of it, how that would work. And that's something we don't wanna put,
Well, we definitely don't want it on the residents to fund it,
No.
that's for sure.
Yeah, that's
no,
something
but
we
if
have
it's
to-
something that we could show the value. So what they talked about is maybe the first year or two, if we can get it completely funded and show the benefits to the city, if it's something that people would want to pay for in the future, I don't know, we just, it's
Sure.
kind of, we don't know.
But eventually doesn't insurances take over as
Yes.
far as paying for the facilities and things like that?
Yeah, there's a ton of different avenues that we were looking at. We even met with the school at one point, this was years ago, to try to get one of these urgent cares in the schools. There's a lot of different avenues to go after, there's a lot of different things funding wise, and it's all, everything with us is gonna come down to money. If we can figure out how to be fiscally responsible through the city without burdening our residents, then why not? Why not
Yeah.
give it a try? But that's the hard part, and
The
that's
key
what
is-
KO is
Yeah.
really good at doing, is piecing these things together and seeing how to make it work, and if it can work, but this is a new way of doing things.
I think
So
it's great,
it's kinda-
I just also think that more of the challenge is gonna come from the long term, like you said,
Yeah.
sustainability moving forward, because that's something, even if we have it figured out for a year or 2 years, the long term, we do not want it to roll back onto our residents.
Right.
Yeah, we have to look like.
Well,
5,
it
10
could
years
also
down
be a
the road.
private
really do.
entity that would do it.
Well, we have a
Yeah.
company,
You know, and then the residents wouldn't have to pay anything.
and that's who I want to come and present. That's who we had the initial meeting.
But then we'd have to find a place to put them as well.
We can find a place.
I was looking, I've been looking ever since you mentioned that, but you know, like the old Schwabels building up there on Young Cell Phone Road.
Or if it's something with the school,
Yeah.
with Manor,
Yeah.
with,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
there,
yeah.
we have we came up with a couple different things, but even, that's a really good one, close
Yeah.
to my house, so,
Yeah,
but yeah.
And it gets traffic.
I mean, over
Yeah.
time, a private entity, being able to bring a private entity here to do it would be the main.
Yeah, so in other words, you're saying no, like Mercy and
No,
like, okay,
Yeah.
this is something that, QuickMed is
okay.
who we met with,
Mhm.
because Lena is
She's got
very,
a few.
she is
Yeah.
very innovative, she has them all over the place, and her model is really working, and it's improving to work, I mean, she's expanding all over the place, but that's who we met with
And I'm
Gerard.
sure she's well established with the insurance companies as well,
Oh,
so.
yeah, yeah, she's,
Yeah, cause Carly worked there.
Yeah.
Like for a year, I mean, it's been a while, so she's been around.
their company's very impressive, but that's who we wanna get in front of you guys when we get to that point, but if it's not something that we,
Yeah, cause she could look at the long-term a little easier than we
Yeah.
would be able to
Okay.
project.
So since we're in the medical part of it, how is our ambulance service doing? Are we maintaining it? Are we
Yeah.
keeping up to date with everything?
Yeah, they're doing very well.
Yeah? No problems with, overhead, overcoming the profitability of it?
We've been, yeah, so far we've been profitable and there hasn't been any issues and they haven't reported any issues with any of their runs or any of that, so. it's
And
actually
we
been
are currently up to date with the EMTs and everything
Yeah.
to run it?
So our
Yeah.
call times are pretty good too, would you say?
Yeah, we've had good call times and they still work together with Lane too, but yeah, we haven't had any issues.
The Lane is in our old fire station, right?
yes,
That's their base,
yes.
pretty much? Okay, that's good. All right.
For
Anybody have
us, how we have everything right now is perfect for Struthers, it's working.
Yeah,
Now, that's not to
Mike's
say,
well, like, he keeps everything stocked and prepared. He's always a step ahead, so.
Yeah, well, that's
They've been
good,
doing a great job with it. They always
that's
do.
good. So we did the right thing.
oh, yes, no doubt.
Okay.
We did. For Struthers.
Yeah,
That's not
right.
the answer for everybody else, but for us specifically,
working out good
it's
for
working
us.
for us.
The new ambulance is doing well?
Yeah.
I know, isn't that pretty nice looking?
Yeah,
It
look good.
looks nice, like, yeah.
Okay, anything else? All right, we'll get into, go
I
ahead.
have one more.
Mayor, no, Mayor.
Sorry.
I have one more, I talked to Lori and Megan briefly, and I'll just talk about it instead of going next week. So we were approached by the state and the League of Women Voters. It's not anything that's an urgent matter, but it's a discussion we're gonna have, and we're gonna have to invite them to come explain everything. I think I briefly told you about it. So apparently, we haven't redistricted the city since 1971. We are supposed to redistrict every year that ends in a 1, so every year after the census. So 1980, we were supposed to do it in 81. 1990, we were supposed to do it in 91. We were supposed to do it every year after the census. We have not done it. There's many communities out here that haven't done it. So when they came to visit us and basically say, hey, you guys need to redistrict, there's a lot of other communities that are working towards that too. We have until next year's primary to do anything, but we have, so what it is right now, all of the wards have to be within 10% number-wise of each other. So right now, I think the first ward has, second ward has, I have all the numbers, second ward has 2,800. So everybody needs to be as close to 2,500 as possible. Second ward had 28, I think fourth ward had 27, first ward had 2,100. So we have to look at figuring out how to drag some streets into the different wards. They'll present to council. This is very early in it, like I said, we don't have to have it done until next year, but they want us to start talking about it, start thinking about it. But what they'll do is they'll come and there's a website that they go on and they basically can drag and drop and show you, okay, if we move this street into this ward, what does the numbers look like? If we bring this into this ward. So they'll show us on the board, but we have to redistrict.
We're just looking at population or voting?
No, I think it's population.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's population. But the wards are not equal the way
Equal.
they need to be. We explained that we wanna keep our, I think Lori was the only one that was on like the outskirt of the ward. So we wanna make sure that our ward, council person remains in that ward. But we're gonna have to, you're in the middle, like most of you guys are like you guys are,
I'm on
You
the
guys-
fourth ward, if you brought Wilson over.
We made sure, we told them everywhere.
we talked to them, but we
That
have
was
to,
the big thing.
we're
We
gonna
don't
have to
change up.
redistrict and some streets are gonna have to be moved into different wards. So we'll talk about that. It's very early, but they met with us. We were completely unaware and obviously
This is the first I've heard being even notified about it.
since 1971 was the last time we redistricted. And it's not just us. They were going to Warren, they were going to all these other places when they were here. But they wanted to bring it to our attention, but they're more than willing to come to a meeting and give a presentation. They just wanted me to kind of fill you guys in first, yes.
Kat, I thought they did that years ago when they took a precinct from each ward. We actually, some wards had
Precinct
five.
committeeman, you mean?
Huh?
You mean when they took precinct committeeman and
No,
switched
when they
around?
took a precinct from each ward, I thought they jockeyed around at that time too.
They,
Oh.
We
the
only
last
have,
recording was 1971.
well, I thought, we used to have 4 and 5 precincts, but when we went down to 3, I thought they jockeyed some streets around at that time.
I don't
could
know,
be wrong.
according to the state, last time they did it was 1971. What we would have to do is figure out where and what, but they had made no mention of that. But the numbers are really off. Like Lori's ward is 21 and the second ward is 28. So they need to be as close to 2,500. It has to be a 10% difference one way or the other.
So would that be a good time to, figure out a new zoning map as well? Like what the MS was supposed to do for us?
They're still looking, there's another round of funding coming out to redo all the zoning. So
Okay.
we're applying for that too. But that's separate
Okay,
from, that's something, we have to do that.
Yeah.
We've been saying we have to do it,
So,
we have to.
when they want us to switch these wards around, or they wanna do that, that is more or less to keep an equal number of residents per ward?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I
And
was
it's
just-
changed
Yeah, I
over
was
the
just
years.
curious to why,
Yeah.
you know.
I don't
So
think it
that-
makes that much of a difference as far as how we control what we do in the city.
Well, it doesn't make any difference for us, you know.
For us, it doesn't, but I think voting wise, when it comes to, they were showing us, and I can bring all the numbers, like there's so many Republicans in here and there's so many Democrats here, it has to be equal within 10% up or down, and ours I think are like 30%, like it's not,
Well, think about the
Really.
amount that's changed in that time frame from, you know, if you went back to 30 years ago, there was probably 1% Republican. Or, you know what I mean, and 99%. Think about how many, voter registrations have changed since then, you know.
but like I said, it's something that we would all have to agree on, and then we would write an ordinance and submit that to the Board of Elections. So we have plenty of time to do it, but just wanna get in
Yeah.
your heads and maybe schedule something to have them come in and present. But like I said, they'll go through literally every street, drag and drop, and see where we can pull and where it makes sense to kind of try to even everything out. We have no idea, no clue,
All right, good?
I think.
Anybody else? Okay, we got one piece of legislation tonight, and we will have one piece next week in caucus. So this one tonight is an ordinance amending number 759.99 of the codified ordinances of the city of Struthers to change the penalty for vending, peddling, and soliciting in violation of chapter 759 of the codified ordinance of the city of Struthers and declaring an emergency. Need a motion to bring it up. Do you wanna speak on this? Anybody wanna speak on this piece of legislation at all?
John spoke with me,
I didn't get to speak.
briefly on it, and more or less, the problem that's trying to get rectified is a lot of these companies that solicit are sending young kids here, dropping them off to solicit. Well, when they get in trouble or when they get notified that they can't do it, it's a misdemeanor. It doesn't follow the company, it follows the person who is here doing it. So I believe this rectifies a little bit of that, is what.
So we're gonna do, put the blame on the company
Yeah,
itself?
that
I think
was,
it should be.
well,
Yeah, it should
obviously,
be.
I mean, they're getting, obviously, kids taking them here that they have no idea
Right.
that they need a permit, that have no
Right.
idea about any of those things, so. From my understanding to John, and then those kids are going to court, 'cause it is a misdemeanor, and we're providing representation for them, so it's actually probably costing the city money to have it this way. So,
How old are these kids?
I didn't get an actual age, but he just said younger, you know.
We've been citing a lot, I mean, we had a lot.
Even if they're
of
18, like that goes probably on their record and they're
Well,
just
I mean,
looking for a
just either way, I
company.
mean, you're now, we're looking to stop the solicitation, we're not necessarily
Yeah.
really looking to punish 18-year-old kids that were just looking for a
Right.
job and
Right.
came here, you know what I mean, so.
It's
We're,
the same companies.
I,
It's the same
I'm
companies,
sure it
just
is,
different.
yeah, so, and again, I only spoke with John briefly on this, so if you guys wanna wait and discuss it with him, that's fine, but
No,
I know
that's a good
that was
idea.
my understanding of it was to prevent
the financial burden on the city for getting representation for these people, and to try to stop, basically getting the kids that they're dropping off here to do this service, keep them from getting in trouble,
Sure.
because it's just not something that they're aware of.
Does this explain what our officers have to do though?
No,
So how
I
do
don't
our
see anything in
officers,
there.
what's the,
John
And I
said
just
he
want-
would be here next week to go over it if we wanted to wait.
If,
oh, you don't
well,
have to wait,
you know,
I just
well, you know,
wanna
if
make
if
sure
he
our
goes
guys know
over
what
it
they're
and
doing.
we have questions, we could always send it back to the table
Yeah.
and talk about
Sure.
it again. But, you know, I think, you said it's usually the same companies that keep doing it, can we do something to the companies beforehand?
I think we
I think
should.
that's what, is that what this is doing?
I
Because we
don't-
have an ordinance that they're not allowed to do it.
No, I thought, to my understanding, basically, this was taking it from, misdemeanor 4, which is an offense that you're going to have to go to court for. I think this is taking the going to court portion
Okay.
of it out.
So we're still, our officers are still doing the same thing, it's just
Correct.
going from an M4 to.
And
an
again,
M.
I spoke with John for 5 minutes on this, it's not like we.
So
had
we're
to
actually
do
protecting
anything.
the young people from doing it, or from having a bad record because
Yeah.
of no fault of their own.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
actually a big
So
company.
now-
Companies are fault.
If we wanna go over it with John and figure out a better way to punish the companies, I'm sure that's something we could do, but I think the
I think we
immediate,
should.
in the interim, this was
Yeah.
basically protecting the people that they're just dropping off here. and-
But, first of all, the big companies are violating our ordinance already just by doing that.
Correct,
So we should send them a fine no matter what.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, in addition to this happening, we should also send the company a fine as well, and just throw this out of court when it happens.
Yeah, I mean, well, I don't think that we should be able to cite, and again, we'd have to sit down with John on this, cause I'm not legal counsel, but we shouldn't be able to cite, we shouldn't wanna cite the
Right.
person that is going door to door. That's
Yeah.
just the truth. We should figure out how to cite the company that
I agree.
basically employs them. However, I'm sure these people are 1099 employees, so they're a subcontractor, they don't technically work for that company, and I'm sure that company
But they're
knows that.
representatives of the
Yeah.
company.
It doesn't work that way, though. It does not. A 1099 is a subcontractor, so they are on their own rapport. Now, again, I'd like to figure out a way to go around all of that and still attack the company, but that's gonna be something that we're gonna have to sit with John for.
That might be a whole separate.
Yeah, to be truthful, I don't know of a way that you can go after the company if they are just 1099ing those employees as subcontractors.
So if you go that route, then these people are responsible for their own actions.
Agreed. Well, that is how it states right now, and that is why I'm sure these people are 1099 employees, they're subcontractors, so that the actual company that brought them here, that they are doing the work for, doesn't have to claim any responsibility or any liability to them. How we rectify that, that's gonna take a little bit of John more than me, of what we can and can't do. I'm with you,
Yeah.
just how, how do we,
Well, do you
Yeah,
wanna
it's a fine
talk to
line.
John
How do
about
we
this
go about that?
before, or?
I think this is completely separate. I think this is separate than what you're saying, that might be a whole nother thing, or.
what I'm saying is something different, yeah. But it doesn't matter to me, like I said, whether we bring this out now, or we discuss it with John and Caucus, and,
Well,
We have to send it back to.
yeah,
Committee,
let's bring it out, and
Okay.
then we'll have John talk about it in caucus, and if we have questions, then we'll just send it back to committee.
well, I think we're gonna, even after we bring this out and pass it, I think what we just stated is going to be another completely separate thing that
Right.
we're gonna have to add, and
So this is just
figure out.
basically increasing the fines, pretty much.
pretty much, I think it's taking the misdemeanor portion away, so that the person doesn't have to go to court.
And we don't have to provide.
We don't have to provide legal service,
Okay.
so.
All right, motion to bring it out,
Make a motion.
Won't even show up.
second,
Second.
Anything else for this committee? So I did forget that we met last Friday down here and talked about
Oh,
front
yeah,
yard
that's
gardens. So my question to us is where is it mentioned on easements? Because we cannot find it anywhere.
We were always told that it was 11 feet from the curb, and that, I don't know that that's in ours, or that's in basically every single place that has a utility easement.
Was it a state?
And it,
Well, Ohio
Because it
Revised
is-
Code says from the center of the road to, what was it?
was it the center of the road?
It was the center of the road, so many feet,
20,
25 feet.
I think you said.
but that's the only thing I could find
Okay, so
anywhere, so
a
like,
road is generally about 12 feet is one lane.
Right.
So you're roughly still 11 feet from curb, which is what we have always went off of. Now that, the only part that doesn't make as much sense to me is from center of the road, well, what happens if it's a 3 or 4 lane road?
yeah, and
Then it
that's what,
doesn't even get you to the curb, you know what I mean? So that I don't know, but we've always, in past practice down here, we've always went 11 foot from curb.
But we
because
have no legislation.
But again, I don't know if that's our
I
legislation.
do.
You think we
Can't
have
find
some?
I think we do, because I remember we had to go over by Mr. Uhas's house and do that though.
We've went on quite a few because a lot of them
Yes.
were trees that were now
Right.
falling into it, and that was how we
Or
were able to
where the
rectify
bushes
it.
were higher, that we didn't maybe cut them down.
Yeah,
I believe there is something there.
I forgot about
well, I
that.
remember when I did my pillars too, Mr. Wilds came and said like, listen, we have 11 feet from the curb. Now, you don't have to move those or anything, just know that if there's ever an issue and gas or water have to tear up that, you're responsible. They're not responsible for putting anything back in that easement other than
The
just
ground.
standard grass or, sidewalk. That if you plant in the easement, they don't have to repair that.
Right.
If and I knew that then, 11 feet, but have I ever actually looked it up or could tell you what ordinance it's under? I don't.
Cause what was it, 10 feet that you saw that it was like?
Most property lines, how they sit, it's like 10 feet from the curb.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
like when you put a fence up, it has to put a foot off, so it falls within the 11.
Right,
But we don't actually have anything that says 11-foot utility.
okay.
I was looking everywhere.
do we
I
need
couldn't-
to have something that says?
Probably be good to have one in there, put an amendment to wherever
I think
it
we
should be.
Probably dig
Right.
into that a little bit too and see that if that is something that warrants legislation, or that is like a guideline basically that is,
Like for permits and
yes.
Do we fall under Ohio Revised Code though? If we're in question of anything?
Yeah, I didn't even see anything.
So even if
Nothing
we
on
if we did go from that though, if it's 25 feet from center line, that's still
Yeah.
12, 13 feet into the curb, or from curb into your yard.
It would be easier to go from the property,
Curb, yeah,
property line was 10, and then you have a foot, so that makes the 11. I think that would be easier than from the center of the
Pretty
street.
much.
but-
Center of the streets are definitely more difficult because
Mhm.
our streets are gonna vary in how
Right.
Like how
wide
we
they
talked
are.
about Fifth Street, it's,
yeah.
Yeah,
Wider,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that was one thing that we discussed, but
I think it's
Yeah.
far easier, to be honest with you, Lori, going off of just curb.
Curb.
Yeah, for everybody got a curb from the curb or edge of the road. If you don't have a curb, inward is 11 feet is, the city's
Easier to
use-
understand.
Maybe
Yeah.
we should put that in place along with that, so then it's covered.
Okay, cause I am gonna speak with John, there was a couple things, and basically what we've talked about before.
Yeah.
Keeping things no higher than 4 foot, they are allowing 6 feet on a trellis, but, so that would be like tomato plants or things like that maybe people would trellis. There's raised beds in here, giving stipulations on those, 18 feet, or 18 inches high. And just things like being pulled by November, making sure the plants are all pulled a certain time and just keeping
compost
things.
there.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
compost.
no
Yeah.
compost, that's in
That was a
here
big
too. No storage of tools, compost piles, or fertilizer can be visible from the street.
Those all make sense.
It's just like our trash cans. There's
It's,
a few
yeah,
on the
that's
side.
literally
Yeah.
pretty much what it's
Yeah.
like.
I mean, it's really it's very simple. And the only thing that we need is like a time frame on, like, if we do cite someone or we do explain to someone that, they need to, how long do we give them to rectify it? like, is a week good, something like that. And then it doesn't affect people that already have gardens.
Why?
It should.
It should.
No, like.
Like, as far as if we say like on the easements and how big and all that, I mean,
Why are we not? I'm asking.
I just don't know if we can. There's not that many in the city now.
Then it should make it easier, not harder. If
There's
there's only a
0.5.
few, we're only asking a few people to comply with what we've put in. If there was 100, now we're asking for 100 people to change, but
And I think when
you know.
it's grandfathered in like that, it's more of
It's-
like permanent structures.
Yeah,
or fences or-
this, in my opinion, as far as being grandfathered, wouldn't apply to this at all.
Cause they basically establish a new garden every year, they just have to make it smaller.
But I don't think,
Yeah,
did you
that's
put
true.
anything in there that would, I guess the ones that are already formed, would this hinder any of them? Like, would he,
Possibly, that's
Well,
why.
if you go 11
like
feet
what?
from the easement.
Yeah, there's.
well, they should be 11 feet, I mean,
No
that's
matter
something
what.
that
Because,
should be
like,
no
That's
matter.
If you
automatic.
think about like
that-
Elm Court
I was
though,
gonna
they're
say
on
Elm
the
Court's
like they're
Okay,
all the way
that,
up.
they should have to change that, they
Yeah.
shouldn't,
And
you
Spring
know what I
Street.
mean?
And they'll just make their
You can't let
garden
one do
smaller.
more than the other.
Correct,
That's
yeah, I don't think that they should be grandfathered in, that's my personal opinion.
Just make it a blanket.
And they literally, if they're up against the curb, that's an issue in itself, you know?
Because even our community garden by you is 10 feet from the curb.
Absolutely, it's fenced in too, you know, but there's only a handful, I think everybody should have to follow the same set of rules.
Yeah, oh, I agree.
Yeah, it's really nothing crazy.
No, because
It
it's not
really
like,
isn't.
it's not like you built this expensive structure and now you have to take it down. This is like, well, you
It's
garden
like,
here, you
yeah.
just have to shrink this part up a little bit, I would say that's
Yeah.
fair.
And maybe widen it if you need to,
Yeah.
or whatever.
I would just say that's more than fair. My opinion.
And this is only front yard, it's not,
Yeah.
not side, it's not,
Well, the thing is, at least we'll have something in place.
Yeah,
And
and
then,
we could always, like I said, this could be expanded on, you know, over years as other things become an issue that we haven't encountered yet. But I do feel that the 11 feet from curb should definitely be one for everyone.
yeah, that's 11 feet.
well, the thing is, if the people out there, the few that are out there that abused it for all.
Mhm.
So that's,
What else you got, Laura, anything?
No, I don't think so. So I mean, then, what you're saying is don't worry about existing gardens.
Yeah, I wouldn't, unless John for some reason tells us that, but I couldn't see
Yeah.
that.
The rule should be for all gardens.
Yeah,
Yeah, no matter what.
and again, I think this is, anything that's on there is probably gonna affect 1-2 people very minutely, I mean.
Yeah, I agree.
And like I said, I mean, it's, in-ground planting, raised beds, containers, it's just simple, it is very simple, but it's just to set some, that can be,
I think it's a good idea, set some type of parameter.
You have to have a leg to stand on.
Guidelines, yeah.
Yeah.
Speak with these people, so.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, now, I mean, with them, they have something to go off of too that isn't,
Great.
yeah.
yes.
But yeah, we will have to look into that easement then too, just whatever you guys wanna, just because we,
Well, we should probably throw it in there, since we are coming up with
Fine with me.
legislation, we should throw it in there.
all three of us were typing in all kind of things
When
and
we
we,
did that stuff with, there was something, because
Yeah, I
we
remember
had
that.
to find it, because
Well, it was a matter of
had
cutting
to
the
present
bushes
it to
down
him.
low,
Well,
right?
this has came up at least, well, Mike will say the same thing, since I've been here 10 years, the easement portion has came up 5-6 times that I could think of, you know what I mean? And that's what we've always went
You
on.
gotta do that because when you back out of your driveway, your neighbors, they could see.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's what we had to do to those bushes, cut
Right,
them
But
back.
I know that
Right.
this has came up so many times,
It has.
and we've always went off of 11 foot.
Yeah.
Now, I don't,
that's
I
what we
don't
just
know
gotta
where
put
that
it in
came
place
from,
no matter
but
what.
I know that
Plain
we,
and simple, just put it in a place.
Yep, just add it, it's even for future
Yeah.
legislation that's gonna deal with that,
Anything you need
just
to-
add it into
because
that
in
piece of
Mr. Uhas
legislation.
thing, that was your first term.
Yeah.
So that's 8-9 years ago. But I know this whole time, we've been using 11 feet.
Yeah,
but again, that could have been, could have been off the property, like that 10 feet property, and then we do have where you have to go a foot
For fencing and everything.
from that, so, that could have been,
Maybe,
I don't know, but
Yeah,
all I know
maybe.
is, we
we
really
couldn't
couldn't
find
find
it,
anything.
yeah.
So if there is something,
We
if
didn't have
somebody
that
could find
situation
it.
down here with, what's her name,
Bethany.
Bethany? The
Yeah.
foot thing?
That's what
Yeah.
brought it up when
Was
we were
there
talking
something-
about it.
Find
That
anything with
was
that, too?
1 foot off of the property line with a permanent structure.
And those weren't permanent.
They weren't
Those were
Permanent
movable.
structures, exactly.
Right, I remember we were down there.
So it could have been on the property line, but
Now, the back of a garage can be on the property line,
Yeah.
can it?
yes,
I haven't encountered that one yet.
but,
Wait, say that again, the garage could be on the property
the
line?
back of the garage, if it's detached in the back, it could be on the property line. I think I've read that
I
in the
thought it was
ordinances.
5 or 6 feet.
On the sides.
I think
From
on the
neighbor.
on the
I thought
sides
the
of,
rear was 2.
No, I thought,
it's
I thought I
12
read
feet,
right on-
isn't it, on the
I
sides?
think the rear's 2.
Okay.
Well, we'll have to.
I think the sides are, you gotta be 12 foot.
My house would be great.
I think 10, I thought the
County?
front and the rear
That's like
was
4
10 and the 5, and the sides were 5.
Okay.
Because I went through that
I say, we dealt with this at one point.
500 times, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for this committee?
Nothing good.
Motion to adjourn,
Make a motion.
second,